Hello there, Internet. Hello there, YouTube. Welcome back to the Home Gamers Continued solo hardcore playthrough of XML2. We are using Rogue, who I consider to be one of the weaker characters in the game, though she does have some interesting tricks up her sleeve. But we are playing the uh, essentially of her two builds, of her two kind of the two forks in her skill tree. We're taking the vastly inferior one, which is hideous. Anyway, we're going to continue. Our suffering is going to continue, rather. But we are at Act 5. We're basically done. I think we're right. We're going to be okay. So, let's get in there.
Let the games begin.
And here we are. I decided to switch up my skin, because why not? I can. You know? And there's no point messing around with danger room, with anything. Nothing is going to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to be here for a long time. And we ain't going to get no fancy new breakpoints or nothing by doing a little bit of grinding in the danger room. If we get outrageously lucky with items, maybe. Maybe some combination of, like, you know, scrounging for every extra point, every extra stat, and luck with items. Man, I'm not playing for that. I know I can make it through with what I have. It's not going to be fast. It's not going to be pretty. But we're going to do it. And as I say, Rogue has some interesting tricks up her sleeve. The main one are her ultimates. They're both very good. There's no getting around that. As I say, she's a lower tier character, but her ultimates are still very good. So what do you want in an ultimate? You want something to keep you alive? Well, this makes you invincible. Ticks that box. It takes way too many skill points for what it does compared to other ultimates that make you invincible. And the secondary quality of rebounding damage is useful, but weaker than the other kinds of effects that you get from invincibility ultimates. So it's the worst invincibility ult in the game, but it is only one of 3 invincibility ults. I mean, one of them is shared between 3 heroes, so, you know, it's not like only 3 people have them. Yeah, it's a few more than that. But anyway, her other ultimate is, you know, just whacks everyone on the screen. Does okay damage. If you spec into a proper, like, physical attack build with Rogue, it does good damage. It steals EP, which is good. Pretty much refills your EP for free. And it has these nice added effects of, like, it stuns for a very long time. And it switches off powers. So if an enemy can't be stunned, or if they have, like, an aura or something that's making them, like, you know, they put some kind of conditional invincibility on them, something along those lines, or, you know, whatever. And, you know, it switches all that up. It's really good ability. Because there are the 2 types of, like, let's call them screen clearing ults. Let's not mess with this, because these guys can potentially change CC to death, but they will kill themselves rather than us because of our reflective aura. So they're going to say the reflected damage is relatively meaningful. This guy's taking 100 damage per hit. I think we do about 300 damage per hit with Smash, which is the only real single target attack we have. So this is the problem with this build. Is like, this is our main attack. So this is our main damage attack, and this is kind of our utility. And yeah, if there's a bunch of enemies in front of you, it's worth using.
I guess y'all lose.
If there's one,
Good, aren't I?
that regular level 1 ability just does more damage, which is sad, but it is what it is. And if we can do a little bit of kiting here, not have to use another extreme token, I would greatly appreciate it. We're just about coming up on the Sinister fight.
Pleasant dreams, y'all.
And I feel relatively happy going into it with 3.
Hello, my dear friends. You have no idea how difficult it was not to laugh every time I spoke to you. Come, beast, sinister. Well then. Don't you realize my mutant?
And this guy's really annoying because he has this thing where he like CCs you and it makes you run away, like you lose control of your character. And then you have to bring him into here and use the nullifier.
Don't you realize my mutant abilities are invulnerable?
Which drains your energy.
You're wasting your time. My mutant powers make me invincible. You're wasting your time. My mutant powers make me invincible.
And as you can see, our boss damage genuinely stinks.
I'm invincible thanks to my mutant powers. The nullifier has cancelled my mutant powers, but it's only temporary. Being you is very liberating. Don't you realize my mutant abilities make me invulnerable? I don't need my mutant powers to defeat you.
I trust you see what I mean when I talk about this being like, you know, the suffering goes on. This should not take this long, but...
I'm invincible thanks to my mutant powers.
I usually try to avoid killing beasts, but it is what it is.
I'm invincible thanks to my mutant powers. You were lucky this time, but it won't happen again.
My friends, yes. Aside, he had me. He's yes, yes.
Luckily, there's actually zero penalty for letting Beast die or killing him, which is fair enough. Although that would add a layer of difficulty to the fight. If Beast were a little bit more, I don't know. Like, it's frustrating because he just kind of hugs Sinister.
Pleasant dreams, y'all.
But if you had some sort of, like, actual engagement window where you could go in and mess up Sinister while Beast isn't around or something, then yeah, I feel like that would be a perfectly valid mechanic to like make it so that you can't actually kill him. Yeah, see, with the invincibility, this is fine. You can do it. It's slow, but it's fine. It's not like... If we didn't have invincibility, we would just get beaten to death trying to use that ability. And this is actually where I died as Toad. In one of these rooms. I think it was, in fact, this room. Yeah, the homing beacon. And it's literally just because you get ambushed by these statues, and... If you don't actually have an invincibility button, you can get quite messed up quite quickly, as you see. They have very dangerous auras.
Y'all lose.
So, you know, much as I praise Toad, and I do, he's better than Rogue, she just did something he didn't, even with this completely suboptimal build. I never played X-Men Legends 1, unfortunately, but yeah, I love it when you have like a boss with like a little sub-boss or something. But yeah, it would be fun if there were added mechanics around that, like if you weren't allowed to kill Beast if you just failed the game.
Pleasant dreams, y'all.
But yeah, I also gimp myself doubly with Toad by like, Toad has a good panic button alt that will just clear the screen if there's nasty stuff like that. And I just wasn't letting myself use it, so I knew there was like every chance that I was just going to fall over at some point in that playthrough. And I see enhanced damage. If I have an invincibility button, I press it. You know, I don't gotta even think about it. And I don't know why I actually came down here. There's no reason to. Yeah, it's a good fight. The only problem is, like, if you do have a properly, like, optimized character who does good damage, like, just kill Mr. Sinister in, like, 2 hits. But then again, it also makes it easier to accidentally kill Beast, so I guess there's that. Marco.
You're out.
And you really get beaten up by those guys if you don't have your invincibility up. But as I said, this is technically unlosable now. Because if I see something that I need invincibility for, I can legitimately just blink portal back to town and farm a full 5 tokens and then just come back through the blink portal and, you know, it's easy game, easy life at that point.
That was fun.
Isn't there a danger room disc or something on the other side? Yeah, there is. Wolverine. Wolverine actually gets a really nice item for his danger room disc. Like, I don't think it can really compete with like absolute best in slot endgame gear, but it's pretty close. And it's just like a little like load off your mind, just knowing like, oh, okay, well that's one piece of like add damage gear I don't need to worry about finding if you're doing like a typical run. You're like, okay, I can just bring Wolverine and then he only needs 2 gear pieces. And if I can just avoid these grubs to some extent, I will. Although I probably shouldn't be running past too much stuff because it didn't even occur to me that I don't have my invincibility. Shoot in the opposite direction of the enemy. That's always a good strategy.
I guess y'all lose.
Man, there's just no cooldown on that res. He was just res all 3 of them. Boom, boom, boom. He doesn't give a shit, that guy. I like it though. If it had a cooldown on it, and you could just kill all of them, and like, you know, maybe he reses 1, and then you just kill that, and then like he can't res from that, and then you just kind of walk up to him and kill him. Then the pressure that they actually put on you would not be. It wouldn't feel the same. Because the whole thing that makes them dangerous is the fact that you have to try to push through enemies into them. Oh, Karika! Ugh, the CC. You know what, let's
I'm pretty good, aren't I? Y'all quit just when it was getting fun.
that's enough of your resing, you grub. Now, I can't remember if I've done this in the right order or not, or if I'm gonna have to come back here. Please let me go. Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to come back here, which is... Where am I? Hold on. I don't know, man. I used to play this game all the time, and I knew all this stuff. Like, just easy way to go to make it to get through fast. I haven't actually done a solo run with Juggernaut, and I would like to do one because, like, just the nature of his gameplay is like, you know, is going to be fun. Because he has that nice combination of like lots of damage, but also being pretty quick. But not necessarily invincible. Like he can kind of mitigate some damage a little bit, but yeah, I do think that will be a fun one for me to play at least. Stream tokens. Oh, Karikaka!
That was fun.
Now, I think there's still another objective I have to do in some other area before I come down here. I might have done this the wrong way around. Or did I?
I guess y'all lose. Whew. I just keep getting better.
No. Okay, if I can just avoid them, I will. Or at the very least, like, kite all of them together. Get the most value out of our AoE. But you see what I mean? Like, it's not terrible, it's just slow. But it's like, you know, one of the things I said when I just started doing these was like, every character in this game feels super strong. If you play with 4 people, you can even just like, and in fact, I would argue this is the more fun way to play, is like, just let the AI distribute all your skills, and just, it'll just put like a few points in everything. It won't matter. With buffs, with 4 people, you know, if you put equipment on to increase your damage, like, it means you just get to use a bunch of different skills and like have these like nice, you know, fun builds. You have all these different buttons to press, and don't worry about like min-maxing or anything, because it's completely unnecessary when you have a full stack, as it were. I think we go back this way. No, we do not go back this way. Oh, it's nice being able to fly. Here, got it. continue on. I might as well put these stats in. It's not going to make much difference, but it is what it is. Got it. We should use it. I don't know, point in mounting slam, I suppose. Oof.
I guess y'all lose.
Yeah, when I see auras like that, I don't even think twice. If we've got it, we use it. And if we don't have it, realistically, we should go farm it. But laziness is what will always mess you up in these kind of runs. There's, you know, lack of knowledge will mess you up, but like laziness is way more devastating. CC. I have to run away from this. At least try to separate them a little bit because I don't have another ult. The problem is these guys, protected from mental, are going to be super tanky, and I can't kill him until they're dead, so...
You're right.
Yeah. Long, slightly grindy fight. If we get Rogue's Challenge disc, I don't even remember where it is because I'm not that attached to it. The extra level is obviously nice, but everything else is... The item is terrible. Speaking of items, let's go check this out. So yeah, I do want to do runs with everyone that I haven't done, like eventually, like. But a lot of the heroes, it's going to be.
I guarantee all of it, 100%.
A very like samey process, if that makes sense. That's pretty nice, but you're never going to be able to use it before this run is over. So, and typically, I think even if I did decide to take out a nightmare, which I don't think if I did. She would probably just find a better piece of gear than that. And yeah, this is kind of the reason why I don't have to worry about losing, because if at any time I need to, I just come in here, all these barrels, all these boxes, everything, always refilled. And I just farm myself up, you know, as many extreme tokens as I need, you know, a full belt. In a manner of speaking. And there's so many boxes in this area that you don't even have to come back in more than once. Which is good, because now, with the game on Windows 11, coming down here can actually crash your game if you try to do it the optimal way. which is to go to the area where it says follow apocalypse and accept, because it will automatically try to play a screenshot, play a cutscene, and just like a talk, it'd be dangerous as a save. So it tries to play a cutscene, and the cutscenes tend to like freeze up and skip a lot, and they'll usually just skip. You know, you press the button and it'll just skip after stuttering a whole bunch, but every now and then they will just hard crash you. So I always like to save before I swap acts, precisely because of that. Yeah, you can see what I mean when you have this area. You just have this like perfect place to power loot. And we're not even doing this in an optimal way. Like, you can bring Toad and Gambit and have like 2 looting abilities that like you can legitimately like loot whatever you want from this area. Like, you can get all your whatever your perfect set of gear is, whatever, you know, whatever it is you want. Just farm until you get it. You can get good rare items. Keep farming this way so you can even start finding uniques. I never really tried to seriously grind for uniques in this game because the way the game works is like, let's say, so there's basically, essentially, not quite, but there's almost 1 unique per character. Because every one of the characters isn't a bonus character, like a PC exclusive or something. Like Sabretooth and Pyro are PC exclusive, and then the bonus characters like Iron Man, Professor X, Deadpool. So if it's not one of them, every character has a unique item that's just for them, and only they can use it, and it's supposed to be tailored for them. And usually it's pretty useful. Some of them are really good, some of them are kind of terrible, but you know, it is what it is. Now, we're going to leave here the slow way by going here and then yeah, you see, you don't even have to like, you can just keep coming here and then coming back and farming it that way, and it's even faster. But I'm doing this kind of the slow, derpy way because I don't want to risk crashing my game. But as you can see, now we have another 5 extreme tokens.
I'm pretty good, aren't I?
And I can just go back and do that as many times as I have to. The only thing I can't do that with is in the middle of a boss fight. So, you know, this build has to be able to get me through Living Monolith and Apocalypse boss fights. Just off the amount of resources she has. And we use Max Land there because he has EP drain and we want to get rid of him.
You're out.
So yeah, we're not necessarily home free yet, but we will have a good amount of invincibility for the boss fights we go into. Now, I'm not too worried about dying against Living Monolith. Apocalypse could be a different story. My big worry is that when in the final stage of Apocalypse fight, you kind of have a boss rush. And if you don't kill the boss rush, but you can't just kind of ignore them and go after Apocalypse. Because if you kill him without killing them, he'll like take over their body and turn it into him, basically. So hold on. Yeah, I got everything I need here. I've just got to go down the room down the side, I think. Yeah, the Temple of Sekhmet or whatever it is.
Pleasant dreams, y'all.
So yeah, maybe when this is over, I'll do a solo run as Juggernaut. I've kind of been promising to do one as Scarlet Witch because I said she's the worst character in the game. She is. For solid though. We're gonna have to ult this just because of the CC.
Pleasant dreams, y'all. Is that the best y'all can do? Better luck next time, sugar.
But yeah, maybe after the suffering this one has imposed on me, like just being generally slow and not particularly fun to play, maybe I should try Juggernaut. Because I know his early game won't be anywhere near as insufferable as Rogue, but it's not going to be free. It's not like I just walk through it.
Better luck next time, sugar.
Ugh.
Pleasant
Mark.
dreams, y'all.
Well, we only have to 3-shot them with one of the slowest abilities in the game. How bad can it be? You can actually get your game bugged here, where the statues can't be broken. If that happens, what you need to do is like basically get rid of your cache. Like go find the waypoint that's closest to this area, which is the one we just came from. I think it's Ancient Labyrinth or something. And then like just go to like a bajillion different waypoints in acts that aren't this act. So it loads a bunch of new maps because it only have a certain number of maps can be loaded in your cache. And then, you know, once that number has been exceeded, it will start, you know, essentially like re-rolls the map, puts all the enemies on it, puts all the lootables back on it. The only exception is the loot in boss arenas is automatically replaced, like the breakables or the barrels and stuff like that. Which is a really cool consideration. I love that the game was like, you know, that they're like, well, you can't farm, you can't like power loot just anywhere. You have to like, you know, earn the privilege. And then the kind of spots where you can power loot get better and better as you go through the game. And you have access to more and more of them. Yeah, we're not going into that middle area. There's enemies in there. I will get EXP for killing them, but as I said, if I were to teleport, if I were able to teleport myself straight to the final boss right now, the fight wouldn't go any differently to if I were to try to clear absolutely all the bonus content in the game, get every single extra skill point, every single extra stat point. This build is just so not good. That, you know, 10 extra skill points or something is not going to magically make it good. Yeah, you see how long that leaves him stunned for? As I say, the strong part of Rogue's kit is her ultimates, and they are good. There's characters who are better than Rogue that have worse ultimates, like Magneto has pretty legendarily crappy ultimates. All that said, his screen clearer, his kind of nuke, Metallic Mayhem, is perfectly good. You typically wouldn't build into it if you're playing with 4 players because it's not needed. His he has an ability called Shrapnel Sentry that essentially clears rooms as quickly. The only reason you get that ult is if you're playing with him solo, because it's like, all right, whatever. It's a second type of resource, and it's a type of resource that I wouldn't like. You know, I can use a separate resource to nuke screens. Like if I don't have EP, I can do that. If I'm being EP drained, I can still do that. Blah blah blah. So it's still a useful ability in a solo context. His other ult is completely pointless. It's just like, it summons a little minion whose damage scales off like your own melee damage and such. So, I mean, it's not like I guess it pulls aggro, but Magneto is pretty freaking tanky. Like, he's actually one of the tankiest characters in the game. He has a self buff that just flatly allows him to dodge like 60% of attacks. Then he has abilities that like further reduce the damage of incoming attacks. And he can also have like extra dodge chance on range attacks. He can genuinely become completely immune to range attacks. We're going to play this safe. Much as it sucks, I don't have enough extreme tokens for this. So, we are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. But also, there are characters who can loot this area way faster. So Iceman, for example, has an ability called Ice Sled that even, in fact, it's ideally used at level 1 because at level 1 it doesn't cost much energy. It just slides you around the map super fast, and even at level 1, it'll insta-pop all these barrels and breakables and things that you like run through. So you can just like take 2 loot characters like Gambit and Toad, smack on their loot ability, and then just zoom around with Iceman breaking all the stuff. And then you just go immediately to like Sinister's laboratory and then come straight back and just do it again. You can do it like 5 or 6 times before you even go back to Act 5. and you make a lot of credits very fast, which is good because another way to get good items and stuff in this game is gambling. So, but gambling is very freaking expensive. Oh yeah, I don't know why I'm blink portaling here when I could literally just go back. And here we are, the penultimate boss. Now this guy is not dangerous, he doesn't do a lot of damage, he's just a big damage sponge. And if you don't do enough damage, he can run you out of resources, and then he can start to become dangerous. Because if you have to just pound on this guy with auto attacks, you'll take a lot of damage before he's dead. He will just chip you down, wear you down. I need the sun's energy. And you see what I mean? We just barely scratch him. And because he doesn't do much damage either, we don't get much value from reflective aura. Very good. Now I cannot be hurt. Oh, I can be hurt. Oh. I mean, we knew this was going to be painful, but Lord help me. Our passive resistance is coming very nicely, because this guy does do a lot of fire damage, I think. I just know if you have good resist, he doesn't hurt you that much. Much better. I can no longer be hurt. Oh. No! No, I'm vulnerable. So I'm not worried about running out of potions. I am worried about running out of sanity. Alright, I'm using Torpedo Strike. I don't care. It's level 1. It does a smidge more than Smash. Or it would if it hit consistently. Oh yeah! I am once again invincible. Oh, now I am vulnerable. Oh. 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 Much better. Now I can be hurt. Oh, I'm tired, boss. I want to go to bed.
This battle does not go well for you. Very good.
Very good. Now I can look there.
I need the sun's energy.
Oh my god, I needed like a 2-second break there. We got this. Like, when you're invincible, you know, it's hard to lose. But oh my gosh, the price of winning, as far as the abuse of your sanity points goes.
Tobacco is yours.
Huh.
I can't even be bothered picking this stuff up. I don't care. It's not going to make any difference. We just need to go straight to Apocalypse. Hopefully we'll get our streams just from like floor loot on the way. Yeah, apparently he's got some kind of like deal with Apocalypse. Because there's a dialogue about it if you have Sunfire in your group. Where he's just like, oh well, I gave this guy my word that if anyone tried to come in here I'd stop them, so sorry. I don't go back on my word. That's kind of like his position. Gone, Beatles. Stream tokens, please. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know where they got Living Monolith from. Like, does he really have a role in Age of Apocalypse? I don't think so. Most of the events in this game are clearly lifted from Age of Apocalypse. Like, even things like the Sentinel platforms where you're airlifting all the refugees out of New York and stuff like that.
Better luck next time, sugar.
Hey, look at that. I should probably go buy energy and health at the same time, but we should have a waypoint. Just very easily pop back. That would be a pretty good mixture. Like if you had something like, you know, like Toad's agility with like Sabretooth's claws and healing factor and everything.
I guess y'all lose.
Alright, last waypoint, last fight. Let's just make sure we are absolutely loaded up. Potions. I guess I can do the qualifying exam, it's right here. The thing is like, we may not be able to kill Strife fast enough. As crazy as that sounds, like, we just may not be able to do it. He's got a lot of health. It's gonna cost every cent we have, and it really doesn't matter either, does it? Because I can't blink portal back and get more, you know, buy more potions. So why not? Besides which, if I were genuinely needed the money, I can just go to the teleport chamber and farm as much as I need. And here we are, last fight. That makes sense. So like stuff like this, where you like lunging forward and then stunning everyone. Now, thankfully, a large part of this fight, we have the machine to help us, so we get good powers from the machine that we can use to kill him. But we do have to kind of kill him the old-fashioned way in this first fight. He's not that dangerous. If he changes, he can change into some X-Men, And when he changes into them, his abilities actually do quite a lot of damage. So if he changes into like Cyclops, for example, his optic beams will do a lot. But looks like he can't actually even change into Rogue, so I'm just going to slowly pound him down. Out of here. So now he's going to power up in the machine. Not a problem. We are just going to ignore him. Because
the device carries more power than you can tolerate.
And yeah, as you can see, we just use Quicksilver's dash to smash through these otherwise impassable areas. Oh my gosh, where is... Yeah, that's fine.
I will stop you.
Get back to this machine.
I forbid you to use that machine.
I forbid you. Like, who are you, mate? King of the machine? It's my machine now, since I can just walk into it and do whatever I want with it, so...
You're out.
I won't let you harm the generators for the
I won't let you harm the generators.
And as you can see, when we have the machine styles, you have this Emma Frost Mind Blast, which it just gets the job done. And we have this Quicksilver Dash, which also gets the job done. I just like radiation damage kind of gets the worst rap in this game because like if you add it up,
No.
it just doesn't give you as much
The device carries more power than you can tolerate.
damage per second as other types of damage, but it's like it technically gives you more total damage per single shot. So like if you're going to just shoot at something and then like wait, then the damage it does looks really good. But if you're hitting something multiple times, then
I won't let you harm the generators for the device.
it starts to get basically weaker and weaker. Hopefully he'll be kind and drop some of these orbs. So. And yeah, this first part of the boss fight is it's a formality because you have the machine, so you're basically invincible and you have good boss damage. Well, you're not invincible, but you have healing, you have boss damage, you have mobility, you have CC. You shouldn't lose.
Now the device is useless
this.
to me. Fortunately,
Yeah, I'm like
I
stuck
don't
here.
need the device to crush you into the dust.
So now the actual legitimate fight begins. No more cheesing powers from the machine, and he's going to summon all his horsemen. Which, if you're, Nightcrawler, you just press like tab spacebar, and then you press tab spacebar again, and then like a blue portal appears. You go home because you won the game. Like if you have good boss damage, it's just not a problem. But we don't. We don't have good anything damage, so yeah. And we are going to be in CC hell. But you know what? If I can just chill hit, go toe to toe with them, and not have to really worry about the damage they are putting, then I don't mind. Almost got Mikhail.
Pleasant dreams, y'all.
Oh my god, body blocking me against the freaking statue. And Holocaust, tankiest of the lot, apart from Apocalypse himself, obviously.
Your strength has failed.
We'll keep this up.
Pleasant dreams, y'all.
And because that's what this build is, we'll try to finish him with energy overflow. It's gonna suck, but as long as I'm invincible, who cares, right?
Admit defeat, and I will make you
So this ability is like not even hitting him sometimes. Alright, you should be low enough that we can do this. And we're done. Beautiful. Hopefully the cutscene doesn't crash my game. Doesn't matter if it does because, you know, we're done, but it's nice to have that little moment to just kind of stand over the dead boss and harness your chi and portal back and save and everything. See, here we are, we're done. So this was like my first real challenge run, and like I knew it was doable. I mean, the Toad one was a challenge run as well, and I knew that was losable. And we lost the one that was losable, and we won the one that I didn't think was losable. The real challenge in the Rogue one was always going to be Act 1 and Act 2, and oh my god, we struggled in Act 1 and Act 2. We got bullied. It took me so long to get through those Cersei tunnels, and you know, literally coming down to like being one shot with no potions and having to like, you know, run and snatch a potion up off the floor and then still almost die to the Act 2 boss. You know, and that's all just like, well, before we had any kind of efficiency with our invulnerability. But, you know, that's that. And, you know, the truth of it is, if you make Rogue around Torpedo Strike, she's not even bad. Because all these skill points, like, this is all free. Because, like, you see how few skill points this requires in comparison to these two? And this does everything. This is CC. You can even leave it at one skill point if you want. If you want to be, like, really energy efficient. Especially if you have someone buffing you, like a Gambit or something in your team. You'll still pretty much one-shot everything. But, you know, there's a lot of different factors. Tremor is also a perfectly viable ability because of the stun and everything else. So, you know, you can build Rogue to be good. It's just, even with her best build, her clear time is still low. And as a solo character, she struggles so much in the early game. And like I say, it's like Colossus also struggles a lot in the early game. And I compare Rogue and Colossus a lot because they're the same kind of class of character, right? They're both slow bruisers, they hit hard, they want to be like up close in the front line, they're mostly physical damage. So that's why I compare them to each other. And, you know, the truth of it is just like, Colossus struggles as well in the early game, just as badly. He has a slight edge because of steel skin. And he, you know, once you get through the early game, he genuinely feels strong. Whereas once you get through the early game with Rogue, she's more like, oh, okay, well, now I can't lose. But I don't necessarily feel super strong. Like, I'm not clearing screens really effortlessly and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could go do Strife. Go do the Prison of Misery quest. I still haven't done it. And I haven't done Bastion, but I fought Bastion in the Danger Room, and I guess I can go see if I can kill Strife in the Danger Room as well, because I...
Rogue.
Move them out.
I mean, Prison Misery has a lot of slows and stuff. It's not going to be particularly fun as Rogue. Oh, I didn't get my invincibility,
You haven't gotten all the brains yet.
which is going to slow this down, but it's fine.
Gotten that brain, but there are still others to help.
Yeah, the CC when you're trying to run to get these canisters is super annoying. And especially when the game randomly turns your character around 180. When I say that like the auto targeting in this game is completely bore, someone will be like, oh, it's a skill issue, but it's like you can literally see enemies do the same thing. Like they will do a 180-degree flick and whiff in the opposite. Like it's like I'm clicking on this, I'm running at this, and it just turns me around and attacks Strive.
Remain alive. You cannot win.
Oh, that was
Oh, he's gonna get res. I didn't leave it. Oh no, he's not. Alright.
Great.
But yeah, that's Strife. It's done. Wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Yeah, I kind of wish this game would respawn the bosses, if not the act bosses, at least the mini bosses. But I suppose it's because of the scripting around the dialogue and stuff. But anyway, so that was my Rogue challenge run, and I suppose next time we're either going to look at doing Juggernaut or and where is Juggernaut, by the way? Yeah. So we'd either be looking at doing Jogs or Scarlet Witch. Now, Juggernaut has like some really good abilities where it's like he has things like this where he's like reflecting melee damage back at enemies, and eventually you can get this to the point where it's like, you know, you're reflecting a good chunk of the damage they do, which means like it's a lot of damage mitigation. He has this as a really good ult that just essentially allows him to one-shot everything. This is your typical screen clearing ult, and like Rogues, it has a really long stun duration. Like when you max it out, it has a good long stun. Not as long as Rogues, but it's good. And it does energy damage, which is useful because otherwise he does all physical. He has this... where is Bull Rush? Okay, you need point and block for it. So this is essentially like his version of Siberian Express. Again, really nice. And then you have this Crimson Rage, which is like an ability that just keeps doing more and more and more damage as you kind of stack it up. And then he has some really nice passives, like this Siderax Folly, which allows him to steal energy. And if you max this out, he pretty much becomes like self-sufficient, because at a certain point, 15% of the damage you get is enough. That's all the EP you use in the ability. And then he has this balanced form, which is one of the things that makes him so good, is this massive, massive attack speed buff. It's really tremendous. And Juggernaut is a lot like Wolverine or something, where you're going to sort of max all these like really helpful passives, and then just kind of like put one point in like his best damage abilities, and then just like go to max the ults. And you know the build's going to look something like this, and it's fun because he's fast. The speed is fun. Like I can show you his. We just take a quick look at these attacks so you get an idea of like the difference in speed. It's so tremendous between him and Rogue. Like this is just his normal punch. You can see how quick it comes out. It's got a nice hitbox. He's got this yeah, and this is his charge. And you can see how helpful that is going to be. So there you're kind of bread and butter. But yeah, as you can see, it's just the basic difference. Like, look at that, just his normal attacks. Like, look how fast they are compared to Rogue. And that's, you know, setting aside the fact that his ultimates, yeah, it doesn't make him invincible, but it does allow him to one-shot everything. And he has enough damage mitigation that, you know, he shouldn't really die if you play with your head screwed on, but he can. So that always makes playthroughs a little bit more interesting when you sort of you do have that fail condition. But yeah, that's how I would be doing jogs. The other option is to do Scarlet Witch, who is going to struggle a lot, but we'll try it out. Anyway, I'm going to head off for now, and thanks to anyone who tuned in. I know this one's been a bit of a shorter stream, but it is a shorter act. And that's Rogue done. I'll be working on a new one tomorrow, and until then,